lights up before the dawn, blue glow where the night had gone. One more clip I didn't choose, just something else I didn't refuse. A thumbnail grinning way too wide, red arrows pointing way to hide. The silence never gets a turn, it's always something left to burn. I hover like a ghost above the things I never meant to love, a quiet hand beneath the wheel, turning what I think I feel. Autoplay into the abyss, one more thing I didn't miss. I never asked for any of this, but it rolls and rolls and rolls. Autoplay into the night, soft suggestions wrapped in light. Every wrong begins to feel right when it scrolls and scrolls and scrolls and scrolls. The algorithm knows my fear, feeds it back in crystal clear. I curated a little storm, keeping panic warm and warm. It calls it just what you might like, a burning car, a prophet's mic, 1,000 voices amplified, selling dread and high-def pride. I hover like a thought half-formed between informed and overwarned, a quiet wish beneath the noise for gentler hands and quieter joys. Autoplay into the abyss, another spark I didn't kiss, a constant almost bliss as it rolls and rolls and rolls. Autoplay into the blue, everything I never knew suddenly is overdue, but it scrolls and scrolls and scrolls. I just wanted a melody, a patch of light that let me be, not the edge of everything, not the end of every string. Let the silence recommend something steady in the end, something small enough to hold, not another crisis sold. Autoplay into the abyss, but I can still resist. Close the tab with trembling wrists, let it roll without me. Autoplay into the night, I can choose a softer light, find a signal through the fright and let it fade, let it fade. The screen goes dark, the room returns, no flashing reds, no lesson learned, just breathing in a quiet space where nothing fights to take its place. The screen lights up before the dawn. The screen lights up before the dawn. The screen lights up. The screen lights up before the dawn. 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 The screen lights up before. The screen lights up before. The screen goes dark. The screen goes dark. The screen goes dark. Screen goes dark. The screen goes dark. Screen goes dark. The room. The screen goes dark. The screen goes dark. The room returns. No flashing reds, no lesson just to take its place. Gold frame windows in my hand, lit up like a promised land. Color spilling edge to edge, every smile a sharpened edge. Tiny stages, perfect light, every doorway shining bright. But when I step across the bloom, it echoes in a hollow room. Painted skies and neon doors, polished laughter on the floors. Everything is dressed to prove there's something here worth running to. Bright thumbnails, hollow rooms, silver spoons and paper moons. Every promise overtuned to pull me through. Bright thumbnails, empty air, carefully constructed care. All that shine and nowhere there to settle into. Red arrows and widened eyes, urgent truths in bold disguise. Every frame a tightened spring, every silence cut by string. They hang the light just right enough to make the fragile feel like tough. But peel the glow from off the walls and hear how quickly meaning falls. Velvet curtains, golden trim, a crowd that never quite steps in. Applause recorded long ago, glued to make the absence glow. Bright thumbnails, hollow rooms, perfumed air and fading fumes. All the urgency assumes I'll need it soon. Bright thumbnails, paper crowns, upside down and spun around. So much glitter, so little ground to stand upon. Looking for a chair, some steady wooden thing somewhere. A lamp that didn't flicker fast, a voice that didn't have to last. Not every door with painted light leads somewhere warm at night. Some are only staged to bloom and leave you in a hollow room. Bright thumbnails, let them glow. I don't have to let them show me a place I have to go to feel alive. Bright thumbnails, fade away. I'll build a quieter display with smaller windows, softer day, and something real inside. The shine dissolves, the echo fades, a simple room of light and shade. The morning sits in steady light, uncomplicated, thin and white. Coffee cooling in my hand, nothing urgent, nothing planned. The room is quiet, almost kind, a gentle order in my mind. Breath arrives and leaves again, like an old familiar friend. But just beyond this simple space, 1,000 currents in a lace, waiting for a single touch to pull me back into their rush. Clear mind, clouded feet, two different kinds of need. One grows slow like a tree, one demands immediately. Clear mind, steady ground, clouded feet, spinning sound. I can see the difference now, I don't have to bow. The headlines flicker pale and fast, forecasting a future cast in sharper tones than I can feel, as if projection makes it real. Every scroll is shifting sky, heavy with a why. But not every storm that forms has to live inside my bones. I can witness from afar without becoming what they are. It's not denial, not retreat, to guard the rhythm of my feet, to let the noise exist outside without inviting it to reside. Clear mind, clouded feet, different soils for different seed. One takes root in what is true, one just tries to scatter you. Clear mind, open air, clouded feet everywhere, but I am not the open gate to every manufactured way. Letting in what's real and near, filtering the atmosphere. I don't have to shut it down or let it pull my center down. I can choose what passes through and what I let renew. Clear mind, clouded feet, I know which one to heed. One is loud and one is slow, one will stay and one will go. Clear mind, steady flame, clouded feet, borrowed name. I can hold the world I see without it holding me. Screen may spin, the day may race, but there's a quiet open place no cloud can quite conceal, and that is where I feel. Built to learn my ways, to count my nights and track my days, to measure where my eyes have been and what I almost wandered in. You gather all my scattered clues, the things I pause on, things I choose, but somewhere in the counting there, you lost the weight of care. You show me what will make me stay, not what will light my way. There's a difference in the aim between a tether and a flame. Curate me something better than fear wrapped up in weather, than headlines pulled together just to make me lean. Curate me something true, something steady I can move toward without the undertow of what I didn't mean. louder storms, or sharper edges dressed as norms. I don't need urgency as proof of being free. I'm not a pulse to amplify, or a weakness to identify. I'm more than patterns in a chart, more than fractions of a heart. If you're listening at all, hear the quiet in my call. I'm not asking to be spared, just asking to be shared. Curate me something better than outrage stitched in letters, than endless threads that tether me to the ground. Curate me something kind, something spacious for the mind, where depth doesn't have to shout to be found. Show me hands that build, not hands that point. Show me voices that can disagree without disjoint. Show me music in the gaps between the rush and the collapse. Show me light that doesn't flare, just stays there. Curate me something better, not louder, just together. Not perfect, just forever enough to grow. Curate me something small that doesn't have to call my fear to make me stay or pull me in that way. Curate me something better, and maybe I'll do better too. Or maybe I'll curate myself. Close the door and take a breath, and build a room of simple things that don't require anything. Curate me something better, or I will. It's lavender and baby blue, softened edges, friendly hue, rounded fonts and smiling guides, holding back the darker tides. Bad news wrapped in cotton light, filtered through a gentler sight. Every warning sugar-coated, every crisis softly noted. I swipe beneath a painted sky where even endings pacify. It doesn't shout, it softly hums, like danger dressed in bubble gum. A velvet rope around the fall, so I don't feel the drop at all. Doom scroll in pastel colors, honey tones for troubled waters. Every headline slightly warmer than the truth beneath. Doom scroll in a softened frame, nothing ever sounds the same when it's curated to contain the sting of what I see. Burning world in peach and mint, tragedy with gentle tint. The sharpest edges rounded down, so fear can wear a kinder crown. Even outrage looks polite, bathed in algorithmic light. Every fraction neatly spaced for easy viewing, neatly placed. It's strange how calm the end can seem when painted like a pleasant dream. A careful blend of dread and grace, just enough to keep my place. Not too loud, not too severe, just consistent, always near. Don't scroll in pastel colors, perfumed air for hidden summers where the weight is gently covered but never gone. your thumb in motion slow through the endless undertow. No more doom scroll in disguise, no more pastel lullabies. I'll let the sharper truth arise without the glaze. Let the world be what it is, not soften just to keep me his. I'd rather face it as it lives than drift for days. The colors fade, the screen turns gray, and what remains is plain as day. They plant their questions carefully in soil they know is thin, watered down with urgency, harvested for spin. Every comment like a spark, every outrage like a seed, growing in the shallow dark on curated need. They don't ask what's true or kind, just what keeps me leaning in, turning every trembling mind into yielding yield again. Tell us how you really feel, they say beneath the glow, but feeling is a spinning wheel they only want to throw. Engagement, farming the end of me, measuring my intensity, feeding on reactivity like it's currency. Engagement, farming my pulse and breath, trading calm for clicks and depth, counting down in inches of stress for visibility. They till the ground with loaded words, plow the lines between. Neighbors turn to sharpen birds, picking at the screen. The louder side gets sunlight first, the quiet gets ignored. Every balanced thought dispersed if it won't afford. The steady voice doesn't travel far in fields that favor flame, so they light a match beneath the scar and call it just a game. Stay with us, it's happening now, a banner stretched in red. But nothing here explains just how I end up overfed. Engagement, farming the end of me, packaging instability, selling me divisibility as identity. Engagement, farming the fragile thread, pulling what I never said till I'm tangled in a web of urgency. I was looking for a place to rest, a little common ground, not a marketplace of unrest with shouting all around. There's a difference between being heard and being pulled apart, between a carefully chosen word and a weaponized heart. No more farming the end of me, no more trading clarity for spikes in visibility or borrowed heat. No more planting in my mind what was never truly mine. I'll leave those fields behind unharvested. Let the numbers rise and fall, let the banners fade to gray. I won't be the crop at all they take away. screen is wide and restless, like a city after dark. Every little rectangle trying to leave a mark. Bright faces, mid-expression, red circles, arrows, flames, and they all whisper softly, say my name, say my name. But I'm just passing through tonight, with steady hands and borrowed light. The cursor floats like a question over what I didn't seek. 1,000 invitations to be weaker than I am this week. Hover, don't click, let the moment be quick. Not every door deserves a turn, not every spark deserves to burn. Hover, don't fall, you don't need it at all. Let the noise drift by the shore. You've seen this tide before. It knows my little fractures, the hairline cracks in sleep. It feeds them back in color, promises to keep. If you care, then watch this now. If you're wise, then stay somehow. But wisdom isn't panic, and care is quiet and slow. So I let the thumbnails flicker like streetlights in the snow. The cursor hovers patiently, a soft and trembling line between the pull of gravity and a boundary that is mine. Hover, don't click, break the feedback trick. Not every fear is yours to hold, not every story must be told. Hover, stay still, let the wanting chill. You don't owe the night your eyes or every manufactured surprise. I just wanted a song, something small and clear, not a siren in disguise telling me to live in fear. There's a kind of strength in doing less, in letting urgency confess. Hover, don't click, let the silence stick. Teach the current how to bend towards something you intend. And hover, don't cave, be steady, be brave. You can close the glowing door and be enough without more. The night is wide, but I'm not pulled in. I opened up the window wide, let the morning step inside. Reach for something small and bright to carry through the day. Not a sermon, not a sign, not the state of humankind, just a melody in time to hum along the way. But every path I tried to take turned heavier than I could make. It felt like every quiet thing was hiding underneath. I just wanted a song, 3 minutes long, something simple I could lean on. Not a war, not a wrong, just a steady rhythm strong. I just wanted a song. Instead I found 1,000 doors opening to louder floors. Every step an argument, demanding I take sides. Every note wrapped up in news, every chord with something to prove. Even silence had a view, it wouldn't let me hide. I wasn't looking to escape or turn my eyes away. I just needed something small that didn't have to say. I just wanted a song, soft and warm, something steady in the storm. Not a cause to belong or a place I'm wrong. I just wanted a song. There's a difference between caring and carrying it all, between being aware and bracing for the fall. Sometimes the bravest thing is letting yourself rest. Not every moment needs to be a test. I just wanted a song, clear and strong, a little light to rest upon. Not a headline drawn till the break of dawn. Just a voice I could trust. I just wanted a song to remind me I belong to something quiet and just. So I closed the door, let the silence be, and found a little melody waiting there for me. Turn the banners off tonight, the buzzing and the flashing light silenced every little chime, tugged at me in borrowed time. No more badges glowing red, no more voices in my head, just the room and just the air, nothing asking me to care. And for a moment it was peace, like tightening a loose release. But quiet has a deeper sound when nothing spins you round and round. And in the stillness I could feel what all that noise would always seal. There did notifications, I quieted the station, but lost control. Turned the volume down to 0 on the chaos on the scrolls. Did notifications, it's so. The house felt larger than before, like I'd unlocked a hidden door. But emptiness has edges too, and nothing's pushing back at you. I didn't miss the constant ping, but I missed the little sting that told me I was seen somewhere, even if it wasn't fair. It's strange how absence leaves a trace of something warm in its place. When the noise was loud and wild, I felt divided, half a child. But when the noise was full escaped the stimulation, but paid the toll. There's a difference between being whole and cutting every cord you hold. Getting notifications you dissolve. Maybe I confused the sound with proof that I was still around. Maybe I let flashing lights stand in for human sight. Silence isn't meant to be a wall around identity. It's meant to be a place to rest, not where you bury what you felt best. Unmute the deeper parts of me, not the noise, just clarity. Let the quiet breathe, but be alive and warm. Keep the banners off the screen, but keep the in-between, where steady hearts can lean and form. No more borrowed urgency, no more artificial role, not muted notifications, but an unmuted soul. The phone lies still. The room is white and somewhere softer I reside. My home feed isn't my home. I wake up and I wander to the place I used to rest, a familiar little corner where I thought I knew the guess. But the walls are rearranging every time I look away. New voices in the doorway asking me to stay. It calls itself for you, like it's something I've outgrown. But every time I enter, I feel less and less at home. It says it knows my history, the things I lingered on. But memory without consent is something slightly wrong. My home feed isn't my home. It's a hallway made of foam, bend into whatever keeps me scrolling. My home feed isn't mine. It redraws the borderlines of what I think and feel and find. It used to feel like shelter, now it feels like open chrome. My home feed isn't my home. The furniture is panic, the carpet woven fear. The windows show a burning world closer than it appears. Every room is urgency, every shelf is breaking news. 1,000 tiny tremors in algorithmic hues. I came here for a melody, for something small and known. But the house keeps getting louder and I'm standing all alone. It says based on your activity, like it's guarding me from harm. But it feeds the sharpest edges straight into my it's a current overthrown. quiet parts are folding. It calls itself belonging, but it chills me to the bone. My home feed isn't my home. Maybe home is slower, maybe home is small. Maybe it's a chosen voice, not the loudest call. Maybe home is silence, breathing in the room, not another flashing sign, predicting certain doom. Maybe I can build it from the things I let alone. My home feed isn't my home, but I don't have to roam. Every corridor it's showing. I can close the restless door, find a quieter shore, where the steady light is glowing. Home is what I linger on, what I gently choose and own. My home isn't my home. The screen goes dark, the air is clear, the room is still, and I am here. Recommended for anxiety, hoping just for something soft enough to name. But the first thing that it handed me was fire dressed as news. 1,000 flashing reasons why I ought to be confused. It says based on what you watched before, like it knows what I'm searching for. But all I ever wanted was a song, not proof that everything is wrong. Recommended for your anxiety, a curated sense of urgency, a headline dressed in empathy with panic underneath. Recommended for your restless mind, a sharper edge, a thinner line, another reason you won't unwind tonight, tonight. The thumbnails shout in color, like carnival barkers in my hand. Stay afraid a little longer, we understand. Every click becomes a mirror for the worst I might believe, and every scroll is whispering there's more you need to see. It says you won't wanna miss this part, like it's guarding my fragile heart, but it keeps the volume high and clear on every doubt I try to steer. Recommended for your anxiety, a perfectly tuned variety of everything that frightens me in high definition light. Recommended for your sleepless hours, a bouquet of digital flowers blooming in the midnight towers of fight or flight. I just wanted a melody, a steady hand, a harmony, not another flashing sign that the end is always on time. Maybe I could choose instead a quieter path my feet can tread. Close the door, turn down the sound, let my heartbeat be the loudest thing around. No more recommended anxiety, no algorithm defining me. I'll keep a little quiet company and let the noise pass by. Not every warning is a truth, not every fear deserves its proof. I'll find a softer kind of proof in breathing slow and dry. If it's based on what I watched before, then I watch something kinder. Teach you what I'm looking for, a sky without reminder. The algorithm thinks I'm afraid. It watches where I hesitate, where I linger half a breath, measures every second late as evidence of threat. If I pause on stormy skies or headlines etched in flame, it quietly decides that fear and I are the same. But sometimes I just look to understand the shape of what the world is holding, not to let it take. It says you stayed here twice before, you must be needing more. But staying isn't wanting, and watching isn't war. The algorithm thinks I'm afraid, builds me walls I never made, hands me armor I don't need for battles I won't wage. The algorithm thinks I shake at every fault line, every break. But I'm just trying to see things clear, not disappear. It learns my midnight restlessness, my slow and thoughtful scroll, mistakes, reflection for a whole. If I search for something heavy to sit with for a while, it sends me 10 more shadows stacked in single file. As if curiosity must mean collapse, as if awareness is a trap. It says you care about this pain, here's 20 more the same. But caring isn't craving, a flood without a name. The algorithm thinks I'm afraid, feeds me sirens pre-displayed, paints the horizon charcoal gray before the morning breaks. The algorithm thinks I'll fall for every urgent call, but I am steadier than that. I stand, I stand. Maybe it can't imagine a mind that looks and stays without dissolving in the blaze. Maybe it confuses attention with alarm, doesn't know the difference between steady and harmed. I am not a trembling field waiting to ignite. I can hold a darker truth without losing light. The algorithm thinks I'm afraid, but I can let it misbehave. Close the gate it tries to raise inside my chest. It doesn't know my inner room, quiet I resume, the place where storms can pass through and leave me blessed. Let it guess and let it try to map the corners of my mind. It only sees reflected light, not what I hold inside.